it just strikes me as a poignant moment, where I feel like some of the extremism that's been introduced with, Bannon and some of the stuff with Trump, as an American, it's like we elect our political leaders, and I don't want to I really feel like, we have to do our daily thing. We're working on our workouts. We're working on our meals. We're working on our job. We're working on trying to make business opportunities for ourselves and our communities and live a healthy and productive life. And we get caught. I feel like we kind of got like blindsided and landslided here with the election and stuff. And I really wanted to give Trump a chance. And I think a lot of Americans did. I feel both of the choices, both of the candidates, neither of them struck a nerve with me where I felt like it resonated. I feel like President Obama was a phenomenal speaker and a respected leader, but I feel like no presidency is perfect, and it's a hard job. It's going to be a hard job for Donald Trump. It would have been a hard job for Hillary. It is extremely challenging for Obama and every single leader that our country has ever had. So we have to practice empathy in this moment, I think, and in all moments when we look to these people and we want to find that middle ground. When we have John McCain and when we have Bernie Sanders both coming together and saying there's a problem with this guy, and those guys are right and left, right? There's a problem with this guy, Bannon, that Trump's appointed, and there's concerns, and there's so much we don't need that extremism in our dialogue at the international level and for our children. And it's not something that I want to get my metaphorical panties in a bunch over and be yakking on the internet or yakking other people over either, but there's at the same time I think we need to work to call our representatives and our senators, just like the issue with the public lands getting sold in some of our national public lands, and the potential to do reenacting, and what we're seeing with Trump reenacting some of the pipelines and the drilling and stuff. And I really do believe in resource development in a healthy and a sustainable way. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be portrayed as I speak as some real left-wing greenie, because my time working class in Alaska, I believe immigration is a concept, is a really tough topic. You know what I mean? I have to say though, if you look at like Alaska tourism economy, there's a tremendous amount of Eastern Europeans who come up and work for the summer and leave, and they take jobs. So I understand, jobs, immigration, that's a great conversation. I don't think a huge wall and just picking on Mexicans or getting worried about the Muslims, and there's all kinds of other issues with immigration. We don't want to oversimplify. It's much more nuanced, and I really, that really strikes me because I'm up there in Alaska, and I like some of the Eastern Europeans, and I like Mexicans. I like people of all faiths, of all races, of all socioeconomic backgrounds. I can find a bond with the guy who works at the oil changing place, and I can find a bond at the guy who's running a small business or with a technology startup. I can see the beauty and the parallel between the guy who's who wants to go hunting and fishing and cherishes the country music, as well as the people who were raised in a more of an urban environment. So there are the cultural bridges. You know what I mean? 10 different languages have the same word for mountain or the same word for sun and stars, you know what I mean, across our big planet here. And there's more than 10 different ways over history, and right now too, for people to worship, for people to pray. We have a commonality. We have a way of coming together and rising above our differences, and that is the essence of our most cherished values, I believe, as an American. And I think everyone has a finite level of patience. You know what I mean? Everyone has moments where they struggle with, not necessarily racism, not necessarily bigotry, but I think, those sort of patterns of behavior and speaking, we have to really monitor it so that it doesn't spread to other people. And when we're talking about like National Security Council, we're talking about presidents and stuff, those guys, we have an obligation to hold our leaders accountable and to challenge them to rise above that type of behavior, because we don't want that precedent for our children and our children's children. We want our children, like you can go down to the Bay Area in California and see Silicon Valley. You know what I mean? You can see the best and the brightest innovators, creators. The world around will come together to create things that can stop cancer, that can heal an individual who has been in an accident so that they can still live a meaningful life. They come together to make an airplane, to make a rocket ship that can go to outer space. They come together to build a house that can be run off of, the environment, not those fossil fuels. We have the innovation, we have the intelligence, and we have the people in America to fix the big problems worldwide, to bring the people together worldwide, to fix, and to still have this robust economy, that's been our hallmark. This innovation and this sense of adventure and sense of possibility of being able to rise to the challenge. And that's what to me is American. And also to me is American is our indigenous brothers and sisters and, their way of living off of the land in a balanced and harmonious way. And to me, the challenge here, 21st century, we're looking at Trump, we're looking at all of the concerns that are being launched like missiles and the resistance and the problems with the park. We don't want to ever violate freedom of speech by our brothers and sisters in our own country. You know what I mean? I don't think we ever want to do that. Freedom of speech is a fundamental American right. We want our national park people to tell us what they think, if it's climate change, if they think, this, that, or the other thing. We want to hear what scientists say. We also, we want to, freedom of speech is fine. I'll hear what everyone has to say. And I really do feel strongly, that it's just, to me, these issues are so much more nuanced. We have to be so careful. The immigration thing, just barely even tuning into this stuff, and it's just gut wrenching because I think we can see it's just so much more nuanced. Where it's not Mexico and Islam. You know what I mean? I mean, it's American jobs and immigration. Absolutely an incredible dialogue and conversation. This isn't a wall and get all Muslims out of here, and build a wall for the Mexicans. No, there's a lot more other issues going on there. So, I just think it's a moment where there has to be more of an intelligent process, and I think that was what McCain said, that was what Bernie Sanders said, that's what Cory Booker said, that's what even Rep. Don Young in Alaska said, and I think, we are hearing that echo and repeat itself. We're seeing people launch lawsuits against Trump, and if that's what they have to do in San Francisco, if that's what they have to do in Washington State, and state and city, and again, until we can actually use our legal process and our rights we have right now to take control and power of the system, and of the values that we hold dear, and that, our hallmark way of being on the planet. So we have an obligation to our children and our children's children to engage, to call and to write, to protest, to participate, and to, rise as one, above these divisions, you know what I mean, of race, of socioeconomic background, of way of praying, and realize that, as Americans, we don't want to talk about, we want to talk about the best and the brightest of everywhere in the world coming here to our opportunities and, helping us harness all the talents worldwide to fix the problems worldwide. That's the narrative that we want to participate in, and that's the beauty and the platinum here, right? We don't want to talk about wars. We don't want to have a narrative about resource extraction in wilderness. We want to have a narrative about peace and preservation. Thank you very much.